We are the last people in Memorial Stadium. After Ohio State's 28-3 over Illinois on Saturday, he's Bill Landis. He's Ari Wasserman. Doug Lesmerises. There's a secret. Bill has a secret. Bill has been on the beat for 2 years, so he's still experiencing some new things in the Big Ten. This was your first trip to Champaign, and what will you remember about this trip?
I lost my shirt. There are like coat hooks in the press box, and I was trying to scoop by people and they caught the buttons and ripped my shirt off completely. All but 3 buttons popped off the shirt. They were all over the place. It's going in the garbage now. Luckily, I had a T-shirt on underneath, or it would have been a real uncomfortable day for everybody.
Solution? Vest.
Vest. Other people want you to sew the buttons back on the shirt, but you're throwing it away.
Yeah, I'm just going to buy a new shirt. Yeah.
Okay. That might have been the most exciting thing that happened on Saturday. Ohio State finished this slog through a 10-0 start to the season. You can only play the schedule you have. They won every game. We have to learn about Ohio State. Michigan State and Michigan are ahead. Did anything that happened Saturday change our opinions of the Michigan State and Michigan games ahead? Michigan State struggled for a while with Maryland. Connor Cook, the starting quarterback, I think did not play in the whole second half. Has a shoulder injury, I think, to his non-throwing shoulder. Mark D'Antonio said, I think he's a 9.5 out of 10, that he'll be fine and ready to play well next week. What do we think of Michigan State? And if you watch the Michigan game, you know the Wolverines went to double overtime against Indiana. Bill, this is what everyone's been waiting for. Has anything been taken away from what Ohio State's going to face against Michigan State and Michigan, because maybe the Spartans and Wolverines don't seem to be peaking right at the moment?
No, I don't think so. I think there's still going to be huge games for Ohio State. They've been looking forward to it. I mean, since the season started, this has been the only thing that's on the schedule that's worth looking forward to. It's maybe not. It's not 10-0 versus 10-0, and that would certainly feel different. But 10-0 versus 9-1, they are? Is that what they are? Yeah, 10-0 versus 9-1 is still a pretty big deal. Ohio State still needs to win this game. Ohio State needs to look good in this game against the first good team they've played all year. So I think all that combined, maybe a little bit lessened because it's not 10-0 and 10-0, but this coming Saturday against Michigan State is still a big one.
Here's the thing. Michigan State, if it beats Ohio State, win the Big Ten East. If Ohio State beats Michigan State, if Michigan beats Ohio State in the last game of the year, Michigan can win the Big Ten East. There's a lot on the line. Maybe not to the scale as what's on the line for Ohio State, but these are still very important games, especially compared to what Ohio State's been facing.
At the beginning of the third quarter, I leaned over and looked at you and said, I'm picking Michigan.
Way to give it away. I'm just kidding.
But then Michigan played. So I'm back on the fence. But I think that throughout the entire season, we've been waiting, and we've talked about this endlessly, about how Ohio State should be something, and it hasn't become that thing. It's still not that thing. And there was not even one game, maybe outside of Rutgers, like the one game Illinois blowout, that makes you feel a little bit better about the team as they go into these games. So it'll be interesting. I don't think Michigan State has enough to beat them. I just think some injuries, and especially if Connor Cook isn't 100%, so we'll see how that pans out. But to emerge from these two games 2-0 right now, Ohio State hasn't held up their end of the bargain for me to be that confident about it. And I think for a large portion of the Illinois game, it was a bad-looking football team at times. So again, this is the standard that we're holding them to, the standard of being an elite program and one of the top 3 and a national championship contender. What we saw against Illinois does not reach that standard, in my opinion.
A couple points. Last year, we were talking about this as we walked down here to the state. We were walking down the field. Look at this field.
It's nice.
Lovely. Last year, Ohio State played Michigan State in their 9th game. This year, they're playing Michigan State in their 11th game. Last year, going into Michigan State, Ohio State had been dominating people, especially offensively, and I think the vibe was, yeah, they're dominating blah teams. They need to prove it against Michigan State. Now, I think we're saying they need to prove it against Michigan State, but they're not dominating blah teams. They're not playing that great. This is so exciting. We like to have new things happen in the videos. We've never had lights turned off in the stadium in the middle of the video.
Now we could.
So we don't know about this team, but it's not because they're playing so well. It's because they're playing seemingly so average in many ways against these bad teams. Second point is the defense for Ohio State right now good enough to beat Michigan State? Yes. Is the run game good enough? Yes. That's what I wrote after the game. They need to throw. There's a lot working with this team. It's not every aspect of it, and I think you're going to need all those facets together to beat Michigan State and to beat Michigan. The lights are out. We're out. Ari, Bill, I'm Doug. Thanks for watching at cleveland.com.
Time for Mod Sticks.